Good morning. Thank you for joining us. We are here at the UN Ocean Conference in Lisbon, Portugal with Assistant Secretary Medina. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here. It's been a great week.
Speaking about this, we have had a very strong presence from the U.S., including Dr. Spindred, yourself, and even Special Envoy Kerry. Can you tell us, why is it so important for the U.S. to be present at this level?
Well, this is a super year for ocean conservation. We have had a series of meetings, including our Ocean Conference, where we brought forth, I think it was $16 billion worth of deliverables, over 400, but that's just one meeting. Each of these meetings has built on the one before it. So France held a conference at the beginning of the year, then we went to the UN Environment Assembly meeting in Nairobi, and we talked about oceans and ocean plastic. Then we had our ocean, then we had this conference, and we actually had a domestic ocean week at the beginning of June around World Ocean Day. But it doesn't end here. We have an Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction meeting at the UN where we're negotiating a global treaty on all the areas of the high seas, and we'll end at the COP, which has now got a very strong blue component. So it's a great year for us to do ocean conservation work. The world is fed up with how much plastic waste we have. We are using so much plastic, we're drowning in it. It's time to get it under control. So it's been a wonderful experience because so many people have come together, not just governments, private sector, philanthropic organizations, NGOs, all working together towards this goal of ending plastic pollution all over the planet. We know we need to. As I said, we're drowning in it. We see it at the top of the highest mountains in the Himalayas. We find it in the bottom of the ocean. We're eating a credit card a week, somebody told me, in plastic. It's terrible. We've got to stop. So this agreement is one way for us to all come together. We don't have to have one single solution. In fact, we're going to look for the best solutions and hopefully drive each other. We'll work through national plans, just like the Paris Climate Agreement does for carbon. We're going to do the same for plastic. We're going to work through national plans. We're going to hopefully spur each other on with new innovations. The things we need, we may not have even invented yet, but the agreement hopefully will set the goals and will set the way in which each country can bring their best to the whole enterprise of getting rid of plastic pollution all over the planet.
Speaking of this, you have been a long time ocean champion, both in government and as an advocate. Are you excited to see, do you think that there is this idea of the ocean getting its due both nationally and internationally?
I do, and I think obviously there's more we can do, and I'm always looking at the horizon, right? Thinking about what the next thing is. But I will say this has been a really incredible year, and it's culminated in things like the fisheries subsidy agreement that the WTO just passed a few weeks ago. It's incredible. We've been working on that for 20 years, and it finally happened. I see a lot of that. This wave has been building and building and building, and I think, we have more to do. I don't want to make it sound as if we've solved every problem. In fact, we have many, many still to go. We need more ocean finance. We need more investment in blue energy. We need more people working on coral reef conservation and creating marine protected areas. There's so much more to do, but we are really building up now. And when I think about where we were even 10 years ago, it's just amazing to see the progress.
That's exciting.
We're here this week with important things to do on illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing, IUU fishing. We have announced an alliance with other governments to help end the scourge of this terrible problem. It's a really big problem in developing countries in particular, with distant water fleets that come from far, far away and are illegally fishing in countries' waters, and it's depriving those countries that are in food insecure situation already. It's depriving them of some of their most important sources of protein, and we need a global solution because no one country can stop it by themselves. We are also, though, as a U.S. government, increasing our capacity to work on IUU fishing. We announced a national security memo this week in which we're bringing a whole of government approach and really thinking about it from the security perspective. SDG 14, which is sort of the central part of this conference. It's built around the Sustainable Development Goal about protecting the oceans and our undersea world, and it's the most underfunded of the Sustainable Development Goals. So we really need to bring more funding into this space, and there's so many solutions, and there's so many big ocean countries who are here who want to be part of the solutions, who want to develop their blue economy sustainably. They want to be part of the climate solution, part of helping our oceans recover from their stresses, and it's just been a wonderful place for the world to meet and try and find ways to build bridges and overcome the big challenges we know we have with ocean conservation and ocean health. People think of the ocean as so huge and so vast and limitless, but it's actually quite fragile, and we need to plan the way we use its resources, the way we think about how to conserve it and how we can use it to help us with climate solutions for storing carbon. The ocean stores the vast amount of carbon that we're emitting now is stored in the ocean, and that's one of the things that we need to correct. We need to think about what we're putting in the atmosphere. We need to get climate change under control. We need to keep ourselves to 1.5 degrees. But we also need to think about the ways in which the ocean can help us through this carbon storage, through protection or creation or rebuilding of mangroves and coral reefs. All those ocean ecosystems are actually great carbon storers. So if we can come up with a plan for how to do this, then we can get that investment in, and we can build more sustainable ocean economies, particularly in, again, those big blue ocean countries like ours that have huge EEZs, and countries like the island nations in the Pacific or the Caribbean that have small land bases but huge ocean territory.
Last question. Have you had the sardines?
I have, and they're all the food here has been delicious, of course. But you know, when you get to taste sustainable seafood and really feel like you're part of the solution, when we buy sustainable seafood, we are helping to protect the ocean. So I would encourage everyone to do that.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being
It's
with
been
us.
a pleasure.